That's a big ass watch.
There's a lot of
You
stuff
can watch
going on.
Coco Melon on that watch. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reps That Count podcast. My name is Valentz Nicholas, aka Snappy Patchy, and I'm here with my buddy, my co-host, my friend, your favorite coach, favorite accountability buddy,
Bam, bam, bam.
Adam.
Just Adam.
Just Adam, baby.
Still just Adam.
Yeah, what's going on, boss? How you doing?
I'm
man?
hanging, man. How about yourself?
I'm here, baby.
We're
having
here.
a good time.
All right, good.
Having
good.
a good time. But, you know, we trying.
We trying.
Yeah, man. So.
We got a lot to talk about.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Since I can.
It's been like, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, but a lot of things did happen in 2 weeks.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. But before we get into all the lots that happened, let's get to the question of the day.
Yes.
Let's see what you could come up with. It's been a while, but Adam, what is something that you've done in the past week or two that you're proud of?
Not much, man. I'm like in a weird place, so I don't really have.
You gotta find something, bro. I know. I'm trying to think of what I'm about to say.
What have I done? A lot of self-care.
Okay.
A lot of stepping back in self-care. I've set up like every appointment I've ever wanted to set up. And I've just been going to them.
Okay.
I went to like a dermatologist appointment.
A dermatologist.
I went to like 3 doctor's appointments. I got blood work. I was just like all the things that the things you just ignore.
Yeah. For a very long time.
Yeah, I set them all at the same time because that's how I do things, right?
Okay.
It's like nothing or
Everything.
we're gonna do 100 things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm proud of that. So I'm good. I'm not dying. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Good. No high cholesterol.
No, I'm good.
Good.
Like they were like, yo, you're pretty healthy.
Right.
They said my kidneys are kind of a little fucked up. And it sucks because I'm a coach and I tell everyone to drink water, but I coach a lot and then sometimes I don't drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
So I gotta drink more water.
All right. That's not hard. That's not hard.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, I feel like I've entered back into the zone.
I like it.
Know what I mean? Like I in the get shit done zone. It's just been like on the go, just getting stuff done. Like I'm setting up my garage to be a photo studio. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna get this done eventually. Like I bought the stuff. Like the papers are like.
If you guys need photos.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah. Nah, I'm about to turn up, man. I'm about to turn up for sure.
I like
it.
You
know, gym. I'm still, I'm hitting the gym regularly, even though my shoulder's still messed up. I even did some cleans yesterday. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm just back in the zone, man. Shouts out to Relentless. My Tim Grover.
So I think that's where this subject came from.
Okay.
The work. Yeah. Okay. The cleaner mentality.
Yeah. Doing the work. All right. And that's the topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be talking about doing the work. I mean, just plain and simple. Just that's it. Like just what it means and how to get in that mindset of doing the work when it needs to be done.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to bring this topic up is I do a lot of things, and I think we've both spoken about this, a lot of distracted work to avoid the work.
Oh, yeah.
I do a lot of it. And then I complain about not having enough time to do the work. Mm-hmm. When I did 17 other things.
Yeah, right before the work. It's just like you work around what needs to be done just so you could kind of have an excuse to not get it done, or an excuse to why you didn't get it done. Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. I feel like I do that a lot, actually. I have so many unfinished projects.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, from years of just like I'm going through and cleaning stuff, and like I have pictures that I never mailed out that would just like I ordered them. And I was like, I'm gonna send these pictures out to people, and they're just in my garage or in my office. Yeah. They're in the garage now because I just moved or whatever. But most people didn't know I was gonna send it to them, so it's not like something they ordered.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
It was just like gonna be like a thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point they probably don't even work. I mean, live where like the address that I have for some of them. So
okay, but so that brings up something very interesting, which that's not the work.
You're right.
That was icing on the cake, and unless like we have to have extra time for icing on the cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
thank
you. That would be nice, but did it produce anything? Did it? Like that's nice.
Yeah.
But is it the work?
Nah, it's not the work. That was not the work. You're right. Actually, I feel like the reason they never got sent out was because the work was so draining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's why I haven't done like photos in a long time. Like I got drained last year. The last big event I went to was Masters Nationals in like Pennsylvania or something. It was the biggest event I've done. Like I had a great team, but bro, it was supposed to be 5 of us, and then 2 people bailed on me last minute. But I had it was the last day there, and like I had a panic attack, bro.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah, man, I had a panic attack, and I'm like, oh, I got back and I lost some pictures just like in the show because it was really a massive event, and I really did need 5 people.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. Like there was like some athletes where their pictures just went missing, like in between like switching memory cards and stuff. It was so stressful. It was like keeping me up at night.
Damn. No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So from then I've been like, man, let me step back, bro. I don't know. I've been scared to get back out there, I think.
Well, you're about to get back out there, so that's good.
In a different way. I'm like pivoting to like more like less events and just like studio.
That's great.
Studio work.
That's great.
That's the work that I'm getting ready to do now, man. But
I guess that's another important part of the work. So I think that's a big part of not who you are, but of your passion is photography. When people think of Valentz, they think of Snatchy Patchy and
and Snappy Patchy. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
So if that part of the work is draining, that doesn't mean you have to stop everything. Maybe it's just a small pivot.
Yeah.
And still doing the work in a way that's not as draining.
Yeah. And really like the thing that I actually just heard from another book that I'm listening to is just do shit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, man, like the work can be just it could feel massive, but you just kind of need to get started. You got to start getting going. And it could be detrimental, right? Because again, sometimes you're avoiding the work that needs to be done. But I know in the creative space, you just have to start moving and just start creating things like unimportant things that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that could work in other areas of life also, right? Like in parenting or in fitness, family matters, just like doing something that you kind of enjoy could get you moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after a burnout. Like I've been through a couple burnouts in my life, and like the old gym, when that whole thing transpired, and I went 6 months no working out, and it was like, all right, I wasn't gonna step back into coaching, but I had to step back into a gym.
Yeah, you had to do something, right?
Yeah. And it started as a global gym, like I couldn't be around in a class or people or anything like that,
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I could do this, this feels good. This is doable right now.
Yeah.
And then I started taking classes, and I didn't tell anyone about my background. It was just, I CrossFitted before.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Was it kind of embarrassing at times? Like, just going in, knowing what you just did, like, what you were doing 6 months prior, like, going in there, like, feeling some type of way, like, damn, like, I shouldn't be here?
I thought it was going to. I really did, and I think that's why it took me 6 months to do it. But it actually felt really refreshing to just be a member again, a paying member.
Okay.
And I got to like fall in love with a new community, and I got to learn again, which when you become a gym owner and a head coach and all that, you got to pay to learn. You got to go to these seminars and you got to do all that. And that shit takes time. So you stop learning. So I went from like learning from the best people to, all right, you're on your fucking own now.
It's like nobody's gonna just give you these secrets. You're a coach now. You need your L1, your L2.
Yeah. So I was surrounded by it was CrossFit spot in New York. It was Kerry Pierce was a coach there. Ojo King, which is the Nigerian weightlifting national coach.
So you went into a CrossFit gym, but didn't tell him you used to own a CrossFit gym?
I only told Billy, which was the owner. But it wasn't. You know how people like, that's the first thing they say to anyone. So like the members, no one really knew about anything about me for months. Not that I've done a bunch of shit, but it's like I didn't want that perception or persona or anything. It's like, let's just work out. Enjoy the community, which was cool. It was an amazing community.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So like, all right, let's get, I guess, to the topic and try to bring it in, get some actionable steps of.
Yeah. So we'll start off with fitness. I think you just did something really cool with the work and when it comes to fitness, which is following an injury, which I know a lot of our listeners have probably dealt with injuries before.
Yeah.
It could be catastrophic. Like you just stop everything because pain sucks ass. There's no way around it. That shit just sucks, right? Or knowing that you're capable of doing things and not being able to do them, it weighs on you mentally a lot. But you found things that you could do and then you started doing them.
Yeah.
I think you started it pretty silly, which was with Smoloff. Like you're just like, yo, I'm just gonna do the hardest squat program to exist.
I'm actually gonna go back to it. I didn't finish it because I got sick in the middle of doing it, and it's kind of
like, crash your CNS because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, whatever that means. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it again though. Fuck that. I ain't know. Like I gotta finish it, bro. Because I want to I want to come out of this injury stronger than before.
You know what I heard? In order to really do Smoloff, you have to work off minus 10% of what your actual max is.
Yeah, probably. But fuck that, bro. I don't care. Like I'm telling you, like I'm really in a zone right now, bro. Like, like I just want to do things. But back to like going through injury. Like it's not just the pain. It's like not being able to move in certain ways, right? And like having to adjust. Like I have to adjust how I squat. Even squatting, I can't. Like I have to widen my grip.
Yeah.
Or even like for one of my hands, like it has to be wider. And it has to be in this perfect spot.
Yeah.
For it to not hurt.
I've been there. That shit sucks.
But yeah, bro, and I'm like reading Relentless and shit, and you're like reading about all these great athletes and like all the things that they do through injury or pain or whatever, and I'm like, I gotta get back, and like fuck this shit. Like this shoulder, it's either gonna like come with me or I'll replace it. Like,
oh man, and no.
No, but I'm not like messing up the shoulder. Yeah. It's just like bro, everything else around the shoulder is just gonna be stronger, and like if it can't catch up, then like we're gonna have to figure out how to fix it, like another way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's injury, and finding ways to still train, because you still need to do the work. But and then there's burnout, which we spoke about that, which finding something that you do enjoy about the work, or just doing the work anyways, is also super important. Like shutting off that part of your brain that says you're fucking tired or you're burnt out, and just doing the work anyways is also really important, because motivation's going to fade. You're not always going to be motivated. But if you have the habits set in place and you have just that strong mental resilience to just keep on going, that's the people that end up being really successful in whatever they do down the road. The people that can shut off that part of their brain, because motivation's stupid, right? It's just an emotion. Like you can use it, but you can't rely on it.
Yeah, because
it's not always going to be there.
Like, I mean, today I have very, very little motivation, but I have so much stuff to do. Like this whole week feels like it's just packed into today.
Yeah. But and you still made time for this.
Oh yeah. I'm like, man,
my guy,
let's do it. Woke up before my alarm too.
Good. So with mindset, well, I guess the nugget for fitness, I really enjoy this one, which is the habit tracker, and we've done it with the marbles. The app that I use, CoachRx, does a streak.
Okay.
So as many days, like let's say I set a prescription for like a lifestyle thing or like exercise, there's a streak.
Yeah.
And there's this little thing in your brain, like you get a little dopamine hit every time you check the box.
Yeah.
So finding some sort of tracker where you can check the box and hit a streak, like momentum's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a catalyst, right? So like as long as you can find something, like you said, to just keep moving and just keep going for whatever it is that you want to do, especially with fitness, keep that going for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And try not to miss twice. So this was in actually Atomic Habits. So if you miss one day, follow it up with a good second day, and you're good.
Yeah,
like you can miss here and there, but as long as you follow it up with a good second day, never miss twice, you're good. So habit trackers.
Yeah, I mean, my habit right now is just getting in here.
Yeah, and you have.
Yeah, like I promise, I'll just come in here, no plans, whatever. Like if I could scale the workout, I'll like scale it and change the movement. Like instead of jerks, I'll just do front squats, like which I've done here before. But then there's days where I just come and do accessory work. It's almost like I'm just bullshitting, just like, all right, let me just do some curls, blah blah blah. I like do a few sets of accessory work, and then if there's like lifting going on in the class or whatever, like I'll legit just sit here and watch people coach.
That's all.
Like
you looked at me the entire hour I was coaching yesterday.
Was it? Oh yeah. Like I'll just watch people coach, and yeah.
But you were working out at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like good people watching.
No, but there's days where like I'm not working out. Like I legit like, because if I'm doing my own thing, I'm on the other side of the gym. But like I would walk over and just like sit by the door and watch. Because
I think you got the coaching bug.
I mean, I don't want to coach, but I like coaching without being a coach. Like I'll help you out.
Coach for friends.
Yeah. There's no expectation.
We can get a weightlifting thing going on.
We'll see. We'll definitely do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thing. Just like habit, like you said, yeah, build a habit. Like even a small one, just go to the gym. Yep. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just make that a thing.
There's that 5-minute rule where it's like, just do something for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2 minutes. It's not even 5 minutes. It's like 2 minutes. Just set aside 2 minutes, and then eventually you'll grow that. But if you're at least doing 2 minutes, like in Atomic Habits, he talks about one of his clients or friends or something like that. That all he did was show up to the gym and do like one push-up and then leave.
You know what? If it works, let's do it.
Like 2 years later, he lost like 100 pounds. But for the first couple months, it was like 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and it grew.
Yeah.
But he like created the habit. which is cool.
Walking through the door, doing one thing, and then, all right, man, I gotta go, cause
yeah. But hey, you walk through the door.
Yeah. Get more comfortable with just that.
All
I
right.
feel like that's something that a lot of people are uncomfortable with, just walking through the door.
It is. It's the hardest part. Is walking through the door. And I've seen, and I won't say it's CrossFit. I will say it's fitness communities, because I've worked in fitness communities outside of CrossFit.
Okay.
Transform lives like nobody's business, like nothing I've ever seen before.
Okay.
And it's, as long as it's tackled with checking your ego at the door and listening to the coaches, and as long as there's good coaches as well.
Yeah.
It could completely transform your life. And it's something that I urge everyone to do. And it's not just working out, it's finding a community. I think that's really, really important. Finding a community of like-minded people, or people that have the mindset that you want to accomplish, and spending as much time with them as possible.
I like that.
Yeah.
So mindset, I feel like, well, yeah, we'll get into mindset.
This whole thing's a mindset.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm like, yo, like everything, whenever we get, no matter what topic, or a lot of the topics, when it comes to mindset, like the actionable steps are like similar, right?
Yeah. So this one's, man, not super black and white, right? Because doing the work, like we said, has to have massive intentions. Because you can just be a fire hose spraying everywhere and not get anything done, and you think you're doing the work, but you're really doing busy work, or you're doing distracted work, which is so appealing. It's so fun. It's so appealing, especially to people with faster than normal brains. It's
Yeah.
Oh man, like I go on still to today these insane tangents, and I'll be 3 days deep into something that has no value at all. And then Sunday comes around, and I have all this programming to do, and
Yeah.
Fuck, I spent all that time
doing nothing, bro. You know, for like, I just had this image in my mind that, because we're talking about, like, you know, doing the unimportant stuff, but I think sometimes the unimportant stuff feels important, and the image I have in my mind right now is like, you know how you could put sunlight through a magnifying glass, but then like you put it at the right angle, and like the circle just gets smaller and smaller, and that's like when it starts to burn.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, like we have the magnifying glass, and we're focused on everything in the magnifying glass, but the work that needs to be done is like that tiny little light.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need to focus on.
Absolutely. So I with the mindset aspect of it, it's the only way to do that is to have a plan.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. You have to have a plan, or you have to at least have this kind of, even if it's foggy, like this end goal. I kind of know that I want to end up here, and then you can start the work, or you can start the work to at least find the fogginess, like that foggy image in the future. But like that has to be the goal first. It's what is it that you want to aim towards, and then do the work. Because if not, we're just doing a lot of busy work.
Yeah,
you know.
And yeah, I think so. The fogginess would kind of be like the end goal, right?
Yeah.
But then you kind of have to reverse engineer and then find like a step-by-step process, and then each step is like you have to just focus on that.
Yeah. And I think this ties into faith a little bit. Okay. I don't think that end goal has to be super clear.
Okay.
And I don't think it should be, because there's too many unknowns, and there's too much chance and too much faith that needs to happen to reach something. And if it's like super clear, like I know I want to do this exactly, when you get that, it might not be what you wanted, and you might have avoided like some very obvious pivots that you were supposed to take in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were so focused on, like, micro focused on this thing. So I think that vision that you have has to be a little vague. Like, I spoke to someone yesterday. He's religious and he's going to like a religious school kind of thing, and he's talked about how, you know, God just told him that he has to, you know, speak to the nations. Like, that was, and he's like, I don't know what that means. He's like, I don't know if it's I am going to marry some girl from another nation and then do that, or if I'm called to, you know, like, really teach on a greater scale. But I know I can only see the next step, and I found that really cool, really powerful, because he knows he's this big end goal that he doesn't know how he's gonna get there, but he knows if he just focuses on what he says, what God hasn't set in front of him, and he does that work really well, the next step will appear, kind of thing. And I was like, man, that is so cool. That's cool.
I like that. But yeah, just damn, that's that's dope. But I don't know, like, cause I've heard it, like, I've heard different, you know, versions of it. Like, I've heard that you should have like a clear vision.
Okay.
Right. But I don't know. I think both could work. I think the vision gets clearer after you start doing the work.
Yes, because there has to be something that actualizes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think it gets clearer. But you know, vague could just be, you know, I want to live a better life. That could just be like as vague as you could possibly get.
And then create the steps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you kind of start seeing what a better life, because you might not know what's out there.
Yeah.
Right? You might not know, all right, there's these certain different areas you could live in with different benefits, or you might have never been to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Right? Right? You're like, but in the quest of living a better life, you find better foods and better people and like just a better community, and like you learn, from making that initial decision to live a better life. Yeah.
I agree. So I think there's a little bit of both there, where you can have a more vague, broad, I would say vision. No, would it be a vision?
Idea?
Maybe? An idea, and then let that form your vision over time.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, and mindset, and we were speaking of mindset, so the idea to, you gotta actually have a want, right? And I think you do have to believe that it can be achievable.
Oh yeah, I think that's super. It's probably the most important thing is belief. So that's where I was going with faith, right? There's the faith that, and I actually heard this in church, and I thought this was like super cool. I've been listening to church on some Sundays.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to church often, but I've been listening on some Sundays while mowing the lawn. That's as far as I'm in right now. That's cool. That's cool for me. And he was talking about how the faith, you have to do things that are so scary that it requires faith to even approach that. Like you don't think that you can do that without some sort of higher power helping you out. And he's like, that's a key to a good life. And I was like, wow, because that ties into people that aren't even spiritual or religious, right? Like the people that are most successful in this world took massive leaps of faith.
Yeah.
So I found that connection to be really, really cool and profound, where you can't just do these things that you know you can do, because you're very limited at that point. You have to eventually take these steps that you might not fucking make it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a big key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, business, mindset, like everything, like you it's a gamble. life is kind of like a gamble, right? And if you don't gamble a little bit in life, like you don't get to live for real.
It's the only time I feel like I'm dying.
What?
It's weird.
Like when you're not moving?
Is when I'm not
doing something.
When I'm not pursuing something outside of my capability.
Oh, wow.
I start to feel very anxious. I start to feel very uneasy and unsettled when I'm complacent.
I mean, I feel that. Like, I wouldn't go as far as like that's when I feel like I'm dying, but like I no, like no, but here's where I was gonna get to, because it, as odd or as weird as what you just said sounds, it actually makes sense. Like there's a book called Ikigai.
What's that?
I actually have it. It's like a book about a Japanese village or something where like that has the oldest community of people, like just a whole bunch of people over 100 years old.
Okay.
And they went and studied like this village to try to figure out why. And again, like the book just kind of gives you the principles that those people live by. And I only read like a couple chapters in the book, but one of the things they spoke about was like everybody in that community just always work.
Yeah.
Like they're always doing something. Like they never retire. Mm-hmm. Retirement. I don't think there's a word for retirement in Japan. In Japanese.
Cool is that? One, that's super cool. Two, I don't know if it's the same tribe, but I read The Comfort Crisis, and he talks about in Japan how keeping death front of mind is important and a part of their culture. And it's also in Stoic philosophy. It's also how the Romans lived. This is like a lot of people in history. And it forces you to be present, but it forces you to do all the shit you've always wanted to do right now.
Yeah. So, people just work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their garden, like whatever needs to get done, they never just stop doing something.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense because, the older you get, your pursuits might be different, but you just have to just keep doing something. Like even I just mentioned gardening. Like imagine if you're like become a gardener when you're older, and it's like it's your job to like take care of the tomatoes and make sure they blossom.
I'll tell you, shout out to my mother-in-law. Like she's retired now and she lives with us, and we all live together, and this woman does not stop.
Yeah.
She's a machine. She makes me tired just looking at her. Like she's always out in the yard, always out in the garden. Garden's beautiful, but most beautiful garden ever. Yeah. But she's always doing something, and I feel like she is a young retired person. Like she feels very youthful.
Yeah.
But she stopped working, but she didn't stop working.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like I understand what you said, where you're like, if you're not pursuing something, you feel like you're dying, like you're letting time pass away for free, bro.
Yep.
All right. So last one, man,
relationships
and doing the work in a relationship. When again, this is like when like this topic is specifically when you don't feel like doing the work, like when there's no reason to do the work, when like you could just, I guess, give up.
And let's be clear, the work is the stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
The work isn't the shit you enjoy doing. That's not work, bro. Like, yeah, you can find joy in the work, and that's an important part of life. But when I'm talking about the work, it's that shit you don't want to do, the skeletons you swept under the closet, that, the therapist you didn't want to see, like all that stuff, the finances you didn't want to look at,
the hard conversations
you didn't want to have. Like that is work. And people would rather work 80 hours and do that shit.
Yeah.
like especially me. Like that shit is hard.
God damn, bro.
It's so hard. And it seems so hard. And then once you have that conversation, or once you do your finances, and once you do, it wasn't that bad.
It's because like I know specifically for people like us, like we go through the whole conversation before we have it
12 times.
Like we've had this sit down with you, and like we know what you're about to say, like, and we feel like, oh fuck, we fucked up. Like I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna say this, and I gotta feel like a terrible person, like and then when you have the conversation, it's like it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. It never is that bad.
Yeah.
And we just don't do it. And it's I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I will avoid these conversations a lot. And I try not to, and I think I've gotten better at it, but still to this day, I will avoid those conversations. I think that's the number one argument in my relationship is I didn't say things soon enough.
Yeah.
I waited to the last minute to say things that are so trivial. And so, but now it's big because I waited so long to say it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, bro. Like I just told you about all the stuff I got going on today, but it's also like my anniversary weekend. So yeah.
You ain't say none of it.
Like I didn't realize like this podcast, we didn't plan it till last night.
You could have said no.
No, I could have, but again, like I refuse to not do this. Like I have to get this done, and like my girl likes to sleep in anyway, so it's like cool. Okay, we're she's most likely sleeping right now, and nothing's open because it's Saturday, so it's like all right, we could do 7:30.
Yeah,
like nothing's open till 9:30. So
yeah. I think there's 3 questions we should ask ourselves on a daily basis, and work through this with me because I just made this up right now.
Okay, let's do it.
What is the most important thing I can do today?
Mm-hmm.
What are the distractions that I'm facing right now?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the night, what is the one thing I want to remember about today?
Okay.
And I think those will set clear intentions and guide your day, but also help you reflect on if you did have a day of good intentions that you actualized. So maybe I'm gonna try that for 7 days or till our next podcast.
Okay.
I'll journal only those 3 things, and I'm gonna see how that goes.
So are you gonna journal those in the beginning of the day? Just
two in the beginning, one at the
end.
Night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. When you find out what distraction is, like, what's the move there? Like, do you just avoid the distraction, or you just okay?
Either avoid the distraction or try to figure out why am I facing this distraction.
Okay.
What is it? Because I feel like avoidance is Band-Aid as well. Like there's always underlying things. Like what if I'm facing this distraction? What am I trying to avoid? Maybe that will help me answer the first question a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. It's like, okay, what's distracting me, and why am I
so inclined to?
Yeah. Like, why am I running towards it? What am I avoiding? Okay, damn, I like that.
Yeah, well, I haven't done it, but we'll see. 7 days from now.
It sounds good. Like, even if you do just one thing, like I don't even think it necessarily needs to be like something you work on one time in the day. Like maybe you could, like in the back of your mind, ask yourself that question.
Yeah, but that's why I want like a journal that fits in my pocket. I'm gonna buy one today.
Like one of those little mold skins.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep one in my pocket because like, man, I have these thoughts all day because my mind is crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm a crazy person, and I have these thoughts all day, but I'll forget by the time I sit down. Like, man, what was it?
Yeah,
or it won't be as profound when I sit down.
Yeah. Okay, I have one of those. Actually.
You do? Yeah. I need to get one. So
and like I don't carry it like I used to, but like I sometimes open it and I'm like, yo, I've had some great ideas, and a lot of them have like like I've done things with. So I actually have a page in there with just a bunch of like book titles for photo books.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. It's like,
have you created a photo book yet?
I have. I've done So when the pandemic happened, like I didn't stop working, so I was taking pictures of people in their garage. Like it was like unpaid stuff, but it was just like there's nothing else to do, so let me go do this. And like I took a tour basically. Like I was just all over Orlando, just taking pictures of people, and I put that in a book.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I have a book, and I called it "Look What I Created" or something. Well, that's the name. Look at what I created, and it's from Castaway. Remember the part where he finally made the fire?
Yeah.
He was like, look at what I created.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I've done a photo book before, but I plan on doing like more.
My mother-in-law collects photo books, and I didn't know this. We emptied her storage last weekend, and she has 300 photo books.
God,
that she's collected since she was like 18 years old.
Like photo books of like the old style photo books with like photos that you put on the sticky paper and then you put the cover
No,
on?
I think like just anywhere she's gone, she's bought a photo book, but like a regular photo book. Oh, I haven't seen maybe the super old ones were like that.
Yeah,
they probably were. Did you buy them because she's bought all of them?
No. I think my bad. Like she probably has like a folder photo book that you remember, like when you used to get
I have those. Yeah, but her photo books, they're like artist paintings.
Oh
like
yeah, no.
Like
yeah, that's
like
different.
Yeah, like that kind of photo.
Damn,
book.
that's dope. 300 of them. That's
300.
Yeah, don't toss those.
No. It's like we're doing a bookshelf.
Okay.
All the photo books.
That's dope. Yeah.
So now we're gonna have yours in there.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make one for sure. Like I've dabbled with different things. Like I'm trying to turn weightlifting into art somehow.
It is art.
Yeah, I'm trying 100%. To capture it in different ways. But back to relationship, because we definitely.
Oh, we need you next Saturday.
What happens next Saturday?
The lift off.
Remember, States is going up too.
Okay, all right, no problem.
But
States. Why is there so many different states? My guy just.
That's high school.
Oh, so this is just everyone's.
This is USAW.
Oh, okay.
Florida weightlifting. States. Yeah.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. I really wanted to come to the lift off though. I don't know. I might skip States. I don't know. I'm not doing anything. Like they have enough volunteers. Like I think a whole high school is gonna be there helping us out.
It might be important. Like it might spark something in you. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm probably gonna go Thursday and Friday.
Oh, it's multiple days.
Yeah, it's like Thursday. No, it's set up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday lift.
You don't gotta go all those days.
Yeah, I don't think
a lot of days.
Yeah, I might skip Saturday.
All right.
Yeah, man. So have hard conversations.
Yeah.
In your relationship.
I think that is the work. And not like in a mean way. I think it's very transparent. Like I think a lot of people avoid these conversations and then they turn into bigger things that didn't even need to be bigger things, where we could have just talked this stuff out like adults. And if you can't find the words, and maybe you should see somebody and they can walk you through this stuff.
Yeah. I think sometimes you could have the conversation with somebody else too, like kind of like one of your your boys, but try to do it with somebody with a different mindset than you.
Yeah.
That way, like they're not just agreeing with you, and I mean, like they could give you different points. That's one of the ways you could approach it, right?
So my sister doesn't give me any advice because she's a family marriage therapist. So she's fucking whacked and she won't give me any advice ever.
That's fucked up.
She's like, oh yeah, yeah. And she just won't.
She'll listen to you.
Like I know exactly what you're doing, but my cousin, which is like my brother, is the opposite of me in terms of he's analytical, ultra realist.
Yeah. That's terrible.
It's black and white hard facts.
You hate talking to him.
I hate it, but he's so right all the time. I'm like, fuck you. You're always right.
Bro. Like but I think the whole avoidance thing maybe just like being scared to be vulnerable, right? Like you're scared to be wrong or being told that you're wrong. So you just avoid it. Like it feels like an attack sometimes. Like some people don't know how to tell you when you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
So like it comes off as an attack, and like people don't want to feel attacked or feel like they're under attack, so you just avoid it, right? Like it could be just past traumas or whatever, where you like like if you mess up and you admit to it, like you get punished. It's like, bro, I don't. So you avoid just telling somebody that you messed up or having a hard conversation, because it might just like remind you of those old times. I actually have like the story of a friend who was in an abusive relationship, right? This girl, and her ex was like, it was like bad apparently, right? Like to the point where she had to like go to the military to get away from him. And they have a son together, and it's like it's a big thing, but like we ask these questions like, yo, why you don't call the police, right? Like that's a thing that people feel like women should just easily do, like when they're in these positions. And she's like, at some point when she was a kid, her and her cousins were playing, and they called 911 and hung up. And when you do that, police call you back. And I guess the grandma picked up, whatever, and she got in trouble. And from that day,
man.
And from that day, she's been scared to call 911. like you never know what the fuck is holding you back, bro. So when it comes to these hard conversations that you're avoiding to have in your relationships, it's like there's something from the past, like you don't want to be reminded of, like something that you probably buried that you don't even remember.
We don't even have time to talk about this. We don't have the time.
Next week.
No, I'm just like, that's a lot of stuff that I deal with, and it was from trauma, and it's fear of inadequacy from trauma of my dad passing, and then because of that, I will avoid conversations like the fucking plague.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid of the backlash of that. When there's not really backlash, dude. It's
not anymore, because we're adults.
Yeah, because we're adults.
We're adults now. Like you can't get. I know, but like if somebody lashes out at you, you could like defend yourself. But like when you're a kid, especially, like I was looking into the topic you sent me the other day. But like, yeah, like if you're being punished by the people that's supposed to protect you, the most, like that does something to you. Like, it's weird, right? Because these individuals, your parents, your family, are supposed to make sure you're safe, and like you can't get away from them, but you don't feel safe around them. Like you have, like, it's a weird position to put a kid in.
Yeah.
So
that's a crazy one. Valentz is talking about the attachment theories. There's 4 different attachments, and one's disorganized attachment, and it's the worst kind, and only a small percentage of people have it. And apparently I have it, and me and my therapist were like unpacking this stuff, and what's shitty about that? So he shows me this video, and then he's like, I think you have this. and then I'm like working through all this stuff in my head, and a lot of it's like, you want people near you, but you're not letting them in, and like all this stuff. And then he's like, oh, well, our time's up. Gave me 0 actionable advice for this thing.
Sit with that.
Just let me sit with it. And now I'm like researching it a little bit, and I have a very mild case of it, but I'm like, man, this makes a lot of sense for a lot of different things that I still do to today, or I fight against, because I'm old enough now to fight my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's self and I know there's mine, and I'm old enough now to be like, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have all those fucking things all the time. So yeah, this is an interesting one.
I mean, I would argue that more people might have it than we know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because how do you gauge who has something? Like, if the majority of people are not going to therapy or talking to this about, somebody, an expert, like, it's always weird when it comes to research, because they're always like, yo, this percentage of people suffer from this, and I'm like, nobody spoke to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how do you know that I don't, or how do you know that I do?
And it's all so subjective, right? Like, it's what they're telling you.
Yeah.
But are they really telling you everything?
I highly doubt it, because it's like they'll do like a research with like 10 people and be like 80% of people out of these 10. So just because we had 10, we're just gonna, imagine that everybody falls into this. But when you sent me that, I was like, yo, Dad, it's gotta be hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hard.
Yeah. It was a weight lifted off my shoulders, because it's hard, right? But it's always been hard, and now I can kind of put a name to it, and now I can deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm strong enough to deal with things. So now it's like, all right, I got a direction. Like, let's unpack this shit. Let's figure this out. Let's go on this crazy adventure. But I have to, for my son, for my wife, for everything. I have to unpack this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, man. But yeah, it's.
So that brings me to something else. So I am probably sending out my last email this week.
Okay.
Maybe next week. I don't know how long it's going to take me. And getting rid of a lot of things, not this podcast, but getting rid of a lot of things to spend time doing the important work, which is unpacking that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're, just kind of clearing the plate and focusing on what needs to be focused on right now.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, because I've recently the emails have been really hard to write, and I think it's because I've been battling this stuff. And then it just felt really fake and really like, I stopped posting on social media. I've been a little infrequent with and it's I don't like doing things when they feel fake, and I feel like until I kind of do the work.
Yeah, no, I get it, because I think the emails are like very positive and like inspiring, but like when you're not in that mindset.
Yeah, like, people come up to me, oh man, that email was so good. It like really inspired me. I was like, I wish it inspired me. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Maybe you send out an email that's not inspiring.
Yeah.
Just fuck it.
Open your Monday morning, just open your shit and just get really depressed.
Like, yo, I'm going through something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's basically the last Kendrick Lamar album.
Yeah.
You just send that. Just, hey, yo, I'm going through something. I got to take a break. Like, I mean, that's real.
Yeah.
That's something a lot of people could deal with. Like, just.
Yeah. That's what the last email is going to be. A little break.
Yeah.
A little break.
No, that's important, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's hard to be fake and like be happy. Like that's how depression, I think, comes, like when you're just like you have that fakeness on you and you're like, I'm fake happy.
Yeah, and I don't, I've created such a safe place to just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing I'm most proud of my life. Like I don't have to pretend to be anything. Like I could just be myself, and everyone here would just kind of love me for just me being myself. So when I do that, I don't feel genuine, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm sure that it'll work out, man.
Yeah.
And you'll come back, and everybody will be like, "Hey, Adam did the work. He's back."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. So, I got to clear some stuff up too.
Yeah.
Like, as far as just like clear things off of my plate. Like I need to cut back. Well, I did have that second gig that
She got more time.
Yeah. Thank God for that. But yeah, eventually we gotta clear the plate, focus on one thing at a time, and make life happen, bro.
Yeah.
Creatively though.
We won't talk about if you don't want to, but you got something real big coming up.
Do I?
Yeah. You're gonna go see Mom.
Oh, my bad. Like, this is it's weird. It's weird that like I'm downplaying it, I think. I feel like I'm just like not trying to have any expectations.
Which is okay.
That's okay. So it's just I like to approach things like it's just normal, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just how I've lived my life. But for the people who don't know, like I haven't seen my mom in like damn near 30 years.
And you're not 50, so
yes. Yeah, I'm 35, bro. Yeah, I haven't seen my mom physically in like almost 30 years, and yeah, I'm planning a trip to go see her, and it's gonna be like on Mother's Day, like I'll be down there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a big thing, but also I don't know why it just doesn't feel big to me. Like I think I just kind of made peace with it. Like in the past whatever years, it was just like, all right, cool. It was just a thing, and I feel like I started over and just kind of deleted the whole past. Where it's just like, all right, this is just what we have now. We just have the present.
My sister did that with her dad before she got married, and I think she got married around 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
She hadn't seen him since she was like 5, and then she went to Colombia to go meet him. And she felt like she needed to close that chapter. And she met him, and she thought it was a good experience. But when she got back, she was like, that was it. Like she needed to. It wasn't to start something. It was to
close, and yeah,
it was more for her than anything. Which I don't know how I don't know how it's gonna go, but it doesn't have to be anything, or it could be everything.
I think I feel like for me, I'm trying to like keep it low key because like I think it's gonna be more important for my mom than for me, and I think she's gonna have like all the energy, and I'm just trying to like not get too caught up in the hype or something. I don't know. I'm just chilling.
I get it. Well, I'm happy for you, dude.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. We'll talk about it when I get back. But
yeah,
I think this is the end of this episode.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we got things to do. We got places to go.
Start class in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I got to go get my nails done, I think. I'm trying to. Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next time, man. Thank you for joining. Peace.